Pretty soon. Well, 2025 has already been a deadly and problematic year for flying.
Monday's crash of a Delta flight in Toronto is one of the most recent air travel disasters making headlines. At least 117 people have been killed in air accidents since the beginning of this year. Travel expert Peter Greenberg is joining us now live to talk a little bit more about air safety, air security. Hello to you, Peter.
Hello to you guys.
All right. So as we talk about some of these cases that have made headlines, I want you to put all of this into perspective. Is it causing people to perhaps be a little hesitant to fly? Kind of what is the reaction out there from folks?
Well, these are powerful visual images, as you know, and as a result, a lot of people are concerned, and it may trigger a lot of fear of flying. But let me put something in perspective. The incidents that we're talking about, ranging from the shooting down of the Azerbaijan plane last year, the crash in Korea, the mid-air collision in Washington, D.C., the medical jet crash in Philadelphia, the Scottsdale landing gear incident last week, and of course, most recently, the crash on Monday in Toronto. There is no pattern here, and there's no linkage. These are all isolated individual events with their own dynamics. And I should also put this in perspective. We've just celebrated, if you can use that word, the 30 safest years of commercial aviation since aviation began. So obviously the investigators are hard at work on every one of these cases to determine the probable cause. And in order to do that, they've got to painstakingly rule everything out before they can rule any one thing in. And that's what they're doing as I'm speaking to you now.
Peter, why do you think plane accidents trigger such a strong reaction from people? Is it just because, we all have to give up control when we fly?
Well, you know what it is? It's sort of like for those of us who do fly, we immediately, even if you've only flown once, we put ourselves in that cabin of that air, of that Delta Air flight going into Toronto, going, what would I have done? Could this have happened to me? You do have to give up control, but at the same time, I've always believed that the people in the front of the cockpit want to live even more than I do, and that they're not going to do something very stupid,
right.
And they have redundancy in there with their equipment and with their training to basically mitigate those problems. Now, we still don't know what happened in Toronto. We know what didn't happen. We know it was not weather related because the runway was dry. We know there was not crosswinds, even though they've been crosswinds during the day, but not at that moment. We know the visibility was not an issue, and now we have to backtrack into everything else. But the good news here for the investigators is that they've been able to get the cockpit voice recorder. That gives them the last 30 minutes of conversation from and within the cockpit. They've got the flight data recorder, which gives them all the key data about engine performance, wind speed, altitude, equipment, and instruments. And then, this never usually happens, this is the miracle, they've got at least 80 eyewitnesses because everybody survived the crash. And so you're going to have a very specific second-by-second timeline that they'll be able to construct that'll tell you what happened, how it happened, why it happened, and then most importantly, what we can do to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I want to get to a question that Ben had earlier today, but I do want to ask you, are airlines, do you think, being transparent enough and offering enough information to the general public for them to feel at ease despite some of these accidents that we've seen lately?
Well, the information the airline can only offer is it's a continuing investigation, and it's the proper response. It's way too soon to jump to conclusions. It's dangerous to do that. But I will tell you this, in this particular case, we're going to find out relatively soon exactly what happened.
Yeah. Mandatory retirement ages are pushing a generation of experienced pilots out of the cockpit. Are there more people with less experience, though, filling those spots in the cockpit? Or, I mean, they haven't lowered the standards, I guess is my point, but the people in the cockpit might not be as experienced.
Well, it all depends on their seniority and how long they've flown a particular aircraft type. Now, there are rumors circulating all over the place today about the qualifications of these particular pilots, when they were trained, how they were trained, when they got their certificate type to operate this particular aircraft, and who was in control of the plane. Was it the pilot or the co-pilot on the approach? None of that information has been made public yet, so again, too soon to speculate. But we're going to find out.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much, Peter Greenberg. You can get more tips and advice from Peter on his website, petergreenberg.com.
Always appreciate it.